Hello everyone, it's Joseph's Reserves back with another box of pennies. We have our last box here, or our notes from the last box. Last time we got 4 wheats, 3 Canadians, and only 1.86 pounds of copper. We did fill a lot of the pennies in our books, but today we're going to be trying to fill some more or replace with better examples. And to be honest, this is a pretty light box, so I don't think it's going to be very hard to beat it. I have my list here of some of the harder to find dates that we're going to be looking for, and I decided I'm going to try to go through 10 rolls each sitting. I'm going to break it up into 5 different days. So today I'm just going to be going through 10 rolls, but you're going to see it all looped together. As for right now, I'm going to go ahead and open this box, and we're going to start checking on some enders. And since I am going to be separating this hunt into a few different sessions, if I find a bunch of different enders, I'm going to try to... Oh, this is horrible. I'm going to try to separate those or spread them throughout the box. So we'll be going through 10 rolls today. Let me go ahead and check on all these enders and I'll be right back. All right, I've got one ender here, a wheat cent. Looks pretty worn and discolored. Actually, now that I'm taking a closer look, zooming in and being able to focus a little bit better, the wheat ears do look like they're in pretty good condition, but the color is making me think it might be a little older. Maybe we'll have one in the 40s. Older than that would be amazing. That was the only ender in the box. There were a few copper enders and even one ender that has this black discoloration that I was finding a lot of in the last hunt. So maybe there'll be more of those and I'll be able to add to that little bit of a collection. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back to my last box hunt or my wrap-up video from that hunt, and you'll be able to see I found about 12 of this spotted black coin. However, we're going to go ahead and start with this roll, and I did pull aside 9 other rolls to get us started. So let's do it. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with this ender. And what I've decided I'm going to do is fast forward through the searching part and just slow it down for when I have a find. But since we got this ender, we already have a find. Whoops. All right, we got that ender right there. All right, get a closer look at the reverse here. This is definitely looking like a little bit of an older coin. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. 1950, almost a 40s coin. As close as we can get without being a 40s coin. It looks like that 1 or the 9 is just really low. Interesting. I'm not sure if 1950 has an error. I'm checking my list right now. Not in the cherry picker's guide. And it is not a key date or a semi-key date, but a good find nonetheless. All right, let's set this aside. We'll start going through the rest of this roll. All right, we got ourselves another wheat cent here. So far, that's a good sign. 2 in the first 10 rolls. That's right on par with my 10 per box. Let's see, this is the 1950 we found, the back of it. And as you see, this one is a little bit, the one we found earlier is a little bit more discolored. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see more detail. So the last one, this 1950, is a little bit more discolored. So I'd say the one we just found is in better condition. It usually makes me believe it's a little bit newer. So I'm gonna say maybe in 1950, towards the end of the 1950s, maybe a 5, 6, 7, or 8. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, a 55 Denver. Nice, that's a good find. Still not a key date. Let's see. However, there is a possible error that we can dig through. Oh man, I don't even have my cherry picker's guide here or my scope, my magnifying glass. It looks like we're gonna look at all of the varieties afterwards, after we search through these rolls. So let's continue. I'm gonna put this down right next to the other one. All right, we got another one right here. Another wheat cent. 1946. What a lot of people don't know is that 1946 wheat cents were actually made of a slightly different material. So in 1943, they were made out of the steel cents, or the steel, zinc-coated steel. In the next couple years, they actually used the casings of ammunition along with copper to make these. So these are still 95% copper. It was in 44, 45, and 46 that they used that. The other copper ones are made of 95% copper and then a mixture of zinc and tin. These ones are made out of just zinc, making these ones actually brass. These are actual brass, where these with zinc and tin are technically bronze. Both 95% copper, and the difference in metal doesn't really make it any worth any different, but still very interesting. Sometimes they have a different color. You can't really tell much. Maybe when they're in a more red condition, it's more obvious. Let's take a look at the reverse here. Pretty good condition. You can still see the lines and the wheat heads. Very nice. All right, let's keep it going. All right. That is 10 rolls. So let's take a look at what the desk looks like now. Here are all of the coppers. I'll go ahead and stack that out by date. Here is all of the Lincoln Memorial cents and the shields. And then of course our 3 finds here. So looks like we're getting ready to have a really good box. Here we have the finds from the first 10 rolls. Here, this is all of the copper. Our wheat cents here, I also pulled out 2 1982 zinc cents. Somehow we didn't find any zinc 82s in the last box at all. So that was a surprise, but we got 2. Maybe we can fill some holes today. I also went through and picked out the best of each year in mint mark for everything past 82. So that is from the first 10 rolls. I also went back and got these blackened, discolored coins from the last box, so we can kind of compare it to this ender. Does look like it might be adding to this little bit of a collection we have here, which means we might even have some more in this box that can fit into this collection. So that'd be pretty interesting. We have our 10 rolls here that we're going to be going through. So let's go ahead and start it out. Here it is, right in the last roll. I could tell kind of when it was hidden by some coins that it was a bit older. A 1929. Let's zoom in on this one. A 1929. It's almost 100 years old. It's 96 years old. We're filming in 2025. Based on the wear of Lincoln's face, I'd say this is probably like a good or a very good. Let's check the reverse. There's those marks on it. I don't know if that would really detract from the grade, but wear wise, you can still see quite a lot of those lines in the wheat ears. Right up here on the top of the wheat. Still a bit of detail in the middle of the wheat. Lots of little dings and scratches, but it's kind of expected for a 96-year-old coin. while I have you here, I did find this interesting one, a 1980. These parallel lines, with it zoomed in that much, you can't really get the effect. Let's see, right about there. With these parallel lines on it, it makes it kind of look like wood. And these are nicknamed woodies. This happens from, well, it's believed to happen from a improper mixing of the metals. It is 95% copper and 5% either zinc or 5% zinc and tin. So in that 5%, it could have mixed improperly and you end up with this wood-like effect. It looks like it's just on the obverse. Maybe a little bit much thicker lines. You can somewhat see a line going across 1 cent, a nice thick line going across the 1 cent there. Alright, those are our 2 finds so far. Hopefully we find another in this roll. I am now 20 rolls in. We have our 4 wheats and the rest of everything that I've separated, all the coppers and the best of the year and mint marks going forward. These 4 wheats, since that is 20 rolls, we are having an average of 1 wheat per 5 rolls, which will end up with 10 in the box. That's typically what I aim for, so we're right on track. I have the next 10 rolls here. I've separated these 3 because it looks like each of these have a copper in it. I believe this is the one that has a copper for sure, and it looks like a copper on the other side. And then this one is a nice shiny 1980 Denver. So let's go ahead and get through these 10 as well. All right, we pulled out something interesting here. This is called counter stamp or counter strike. When someone strikes something into the coin. This looks like it's a Playboy bunny on a 1980 coin. Usually they're other people's faces or like present day presidents or maybe John F. Kennedy. I've seen that where they put it on a different coin than a $50. This is a really interesting one. I've never seen one like this. I mean, it's copper, so I'm definitely going to keep it. It's got some interesting color there too. Very interesting coin. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, it looks like there were no wheat finds in those 10 rolls. We did get a whole lot of copper, so I'm gonna organize this by year and add it to my stacks and go through the zinc and I guess the shields and memorial zinc to see if we have any that beat these examples. What else do we find? We did find that one Playboy bunny. I'm not sure where it is now. We might have another look at that when I find it. Y'all might see it, but I don't. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this organized. We're here with the next 10 rolls, number 40 through 49. We've got some enders that look a little bit copper, so let's get right into it. Oh, here we gotta find a 1989 Canadian cent. So here we have, I believe it's a 12-sided coin. All of the 12-sided coins are 98% copper. Saying that with a bit of a question mark because I don't really remember. I know that they're all copper before 1997. And I'm pretty sure until then they had the 12-sided coins. Before some point they had round coins as well. So let's flip this. Oh wait, before I flip it, I remember Canadian coins flip differently than American coins. And that is Queen Elizabeth II right there. 1989, pretty good find. Oh, here's our first find in a while. Let's see if you can see that there. A 1947. So earlier we found a 1946, and I was telling you guys about how in World War II we used the ammunition shells. This is the first year we went back to the actual bronze, with the remaining 5% after the copper being comprised of tin and brass. So a bronze wheat cent. Let's see what the reverse looks like. And that is in pretty good condition for how old it is. See, 1947, that's almost an $80-year-old coin right there. A 1947, it's a pretty good find. Let's see if there's any other ones in this roll here. Okay, we did get one more find. That 1947 wheat cent. We got a ton more copper, and I did find these very, very shiny memorial cents, zinc memorial cents, that are likely going to be upgrades in the album. Here's all of our zinc memorial and our zinc shield cents there. We only have 10 more rolls to go. These are our last 10 rolls here, so let's go ahead and get into them. All right, we've got a find here. Wheat cent number 6 of the box. Roll number let's see, there's 7 left. Must be roll number 43. This one's pretty dirty, but you can still see lines right here in the wheat and the wheat berries. Let's see, I'm thinking probably 50s. What is that? 1958. 1958 Denver, last year of issue. Definitely not the best looking one, but it's a keeper regardless. Let's find some more. And here's another find right here. Our second Canadian coin. Looks like it's a round edge instead of that 12-sided coin like we found earlier. Although it looks like it is the same design. I'll have to look up the names of these designs. If I remember, this one was a 89, but it's round. So that makes me think it's an earlier coin. I'm gonna say probably 70s, maybe a 73. Oh, 76. I flipped it the wrong way. Canadian coins flip this way, holding the 12 and 6. 1976, all right. Canadian cent number 2. Let's see what else we find. Alright, this is looking like a find right here. I haven't even seen the date, but I can tell it's very worn. So let's see if we can see a date on this. It's looking like a 1930, so 2038, 1938. Very, very worn. You barely see the date. You can actually see it better in the camera. At the right angle, I can see it pretty well. You can see most of his hair is worn off. Can't even really tell where his ear is. I'd say this is probably barely a good 4 coin. Yeah, the back is almost entirely slicked out. You can hardly make out 1 cent. But 1938, it's another find for us. All right, no wheats in the last roll, but we ended up with 9 wheats for the box and 2 Canadian. All right, so let's get a final look here. We've got all of this copper we need to go through. I did find this beat up coin. I can't tell the date, so I'll have to weigh it to make sure it's copper. And here's our wheats, the Canadian. I do have that 1980 woody looking. Might have to zoom in to see that again. Yep, there's those lines. And another 1980 counterstruck with the Playboy bunny. So good finds overall. Let me go ahead and clean this up and we'll get a proper wrap up. It's time for a full wrap up of box number 2. I found 9 wheats, 2 Canadians. We filled 5 holes in our folder, which I'll go ahead and show you those. One was even a key date, and we ended up with 1.82 pounds of copper. I was thinking it was going to be better than this box, which we were much better on the wheat, but not quite as good on the copper. We also found a bunch of 2009s and 2017 Ps. Here's those 2 Canadians. These I just have in a baggie with a bunch of Canadian cents that I have, and then these I fill tubes of. I also have this, I think it's a 1996, that is going to be going into my collection of blackened pennies that I found in the last box. Because we had significantly over a pound, we're able to add another bag of a pound of copper to my stacks of copper, which is actually going to complete 10 pounds, which fits perfectly into one of these boxes. So I'm going to fill up this box with my 10 pounds of copper and put that into my storage. All right, let's take a look at these folders. So first we have from 1941 all the way to 2024. It's going to start in the middle of the wheat design in 1941 all the way to 1958. The 40s and 50s are pretty common to find. I mean, we're only going to be finding, 5 to 10 per box, but usually we'll find a 40s and 50s. That being said, we also have the full set of the wheat cents, 1909 to 1958. When we find a 40s or 50s, we're going to prioritize this folder so we can fill this up faster. And then we're going to be working on this. So likely we're going to fill this all the way up and start another series of these 3 folders while we're filling this up. And we're going to see how many times we can fill up these before we fill up this wheat cent. At the same time, I also have my personal collection in which I have not finished exactly what I just said. I haven't finished my wheat cent album. So when we do find one, like in this video, we ended up finding, I believe it was a 38. Where did it go? I put it in my personal folder first, so 38. I do have most of the 40s and 50s, so if we do find a 40s and 50s, it will likely be filling up these. Let's see, how many do I have missing here? 55, 51, 49S, 48, 48S, and 49. So some of them we are missing here. I'm going to be prioritizing my first folder, then the collections first folder, the first series first folder. Then it will be my secondary folder. So it'll be this secondary folder that I have for my personal collection. Let's see. And then eventually we'll be getting on to this. So it does seem like I'm putting a huge disadvantage on this penny hunt. However, we're in it for the long haul. Let's take a look at what all we need. So for our copper Lincoln Memorial cents, we're only missing, I think, 4 or 5. We have our 1963, 1968 San Francisco, 1972 San Francisco, and 1974 San Francisco, and then the 1982 small date. From our zinc, some of these we did find, but they just were not in good enough condition to include them. So I have the large date and small date zinc, and 1982s, and then also 1985 Denver, 1991, 1992, 1996, and then some of these Philadelphia 2009s, as well as the Philadelphia 2024. So we're pretty close with these 2 books here from the middle of the copper, so 1975 all the way to present day. And then we only have a few more copper Lincoln Memorial cents, and then of course the wheat after that. So as we're plugging in all of these wheat holes, we're going to be continuing to upgrade and getting better red examples throughout. If you like watching me fill these folders, like the video, subscribe. If you think you know someone that might like something like this or the content that I'm putting out, share my content with them, share this video, share my page, my channel with them, and you guys can talk about coins together. Have a nice day.